went off. We were like 20
I
rows
told
back. The
somebody this
gun goes
story the
off.
other day.
And so we started walking towards the start finish line. And Leah's like, oh my God, I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous. I said, why are you so nervous? She was like, you guys do this stuff. I don't do this stuff. I was like, just jog at your normal pace. And she was like, well, okay, here it comes. Here it comes. The start finish line comes. We passed it. I start to jog. She says, oh, my knee. Literally 2 feet past the start finish line. Ooh, my knee. My knee. Oh, my knee. And I'm like, what's wrong with you? And I said, what do you want me to do? I said, do you want to walk? She was like, I don't know. I don't know if I can make it. I said, you just started. I said, what do you want me to do? She said, just go on without me like it was a movie. So I said, okay. She's like, just go without me. I said, all right. So I just went off. I just went on. Like a woman, she comes back. Like why you leave me? Why are you telling me to go if you don't really want me to go?
Well, I didn't care that you went. I understand that part. But at the very end, it just looked like you were so annoyed because it took me a long time. I never
did that.
I made it.
I sat there by a tree. It wasn't a pole. And I was waiting for you to come around the corner. And you came around the corner. I said, oh, you made it. I did not say,
why you all right?
I never said
No, you said, you said, where were you? And I was like, you said,
how am I ask you where you been? I know where you been.
Like, I thought, no.
So that don't even make sense.
No, because you said the next statement was, I thought the ambulance picked you up. That's what you said.
I did say, well, I thought the ambulance was going because I didn't know that you were going to go do it because you said your knee. So I thought you pulled out.
So that's why I thought you asked me where I had been because you must have assumed that I didn't run. But I said I ran.
No, I just said,
and you was like, I said, oh,
you made it. I thought the
you.
ambulance came and got you because that's what you were acting like. You acted like your knee hurt that bad. So I was like,
well, this time we're going to
wear later.
So all of y'all are doing it this
remember
time.
Why?
May 3rd.
And in my knee, there's these things called notches, and they're really, really large. And they said, oh, you got fat notches. And I was like, what does that mean? But Tiffany's notches was very small. And they were like, oh, you have small notches. And they were like, what does that mean? It's almost like you're going to have knee pains or knee problems when you grow up, but you're good. I was like, dang.
Dang.
And I do.
Sorry, Tiffany.
When y'all do this, y'all took this at Tech?
Oh, I think you were younger than that. And I'm not even sure
what
why.
the weather's going to be, can't you?
Oh, Candy. Oh, Tiffany, you done turned into Nana. It's going to rain. And she be rubbing her knees. It's going to rain. It's going to rain.
With some icy hot, too.
I know, with some icy.
Or when she go like this with her finger, she'd be like, there's where the arthritis is. And I'm like
this. She's like, what?
Y'all both wrong.
I was thinking about Nana.
Oh, we love Nana though. Yeah, I do too.
Man, I miss Nana. If she was still around and younger, like when we were younger, that would be so fun.
Oh my goodness. Y'all would love her.
She was great.
Stop that tussling.
Don't
turn
the liver
up. You're going to turn the liver up.
You're going to turn your liver up.
Be tickling us.
Or remember she told that guy she was going to tie him up with a piece of lard?
She came out there. Nana came to my defense. That boy, I don't know, they moved into the neighborhood on Denny and they were standing on the bus stop and the boy was talking about me and it was like, Nana came out there with that gray coat on with the little purple stripes on it. Y'all remember it? She said, who you think you're talking to? You tub of lard.
Tell him, Nana.
I was like, I don't even know what a tub of lard is, but she yelled at that boy. Oh my goodness. He was like, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Those were the days.
I just remember I dropped the dog stick down the sewage thing. She's like, I hope you don't get bit by a dog.
Oh, please. Even if you would have dropped all the dog sticks down there, she'd be like, it wasn't your fault, baby.
You sure would. That's
she loved Candace and everybody else was just stupid.
Who broke the towel rack?
Who broke the towel rack?
I'm gonna whoop all of you. All of you. Here comes Candace. It was me. Oh, baby.
Oh, it's okay.
Look, I can't help it. What you want me to do? Be like, no, here's a belt. Whoop me. No.
Do you remember when Candace got electrocuted over Nana's house?
I do.
Oh my
I
God.
touched that thing.
Great. First
Nana
of
was
all,
like-
the fact that it was a live wire and us children were playing near it. Yeah. Anyway,
It was an
It
extension
was
cord,
the
but
it was
the
an
extension
extension
cord
cord in front of the
stuck into
TV.
it.
and
Yeah.
Candace just walked up to it. We didn't know what she was doing, and
She
then
was
she
like
just
2 or
said,
3. And it was like,
"It
and
just
she
went
was
through
like,
her body," and we was like,
and Nana was like, call the paramedics, Johnny. Candace had on a blue dress. I will never forget that. She was laying on her back going,
she just
crying. Oh my God. She was crying so hard, like big old tears.
I remember her whole body stiffed up. She was like, we was like, we were like, we were watching our morning cartoons. We were like,
That was crazy, man.
Hey,
That
why
was
y'all
so
let me do
crazy.
that? Oh, y'all so y'all
you were
never,
just
wrong.
ever
crawling
forget
around the
that.
floor. We didn't think nothing of it until you just
She
touched
crawled
it.
right in front of us. She said, "Zing."
It was like something out of a movie.
I was like, she got electrocuted, Johnny. Call the paramedics.
I don't think he
Papa
did.
came in there. He was like, she's
All
all
right.
right. She all right. Papa, she
We
all
okay.
right. I was like,
Oh,
oh,
here.
man.
Dang, didn't get me checked out either.
Nope.
Nope.
Oh,
Nana be
Oh.
quick to call the paramedics.
She
Remember that
sure
time
did.
Daddy started his car and it was raggedy and it
Mhm.
made a whole bunch of smoke. And she said, oh, the
The
garage is on fire.
She
And
called
she
the
called the fire department.
They
Oh
came
my
back with
God.
axes and everything. And they were like,
Yeah,
"Where's the fire?" We were like, "It's no fire."
We
man."
said, Nana, it's just Daddy's car. And
Smoke.
she was like, well, when you see smoke, you're supposed to call the fire department. Oh my goodness. Daddy always had the raggediest of
Didn't
cars.
say what somebody
Mm.
driving his car one day and they like stopped. It was like, your car's on fire.
Yes, we were driving to
Yes.
church. We were driving to church and we stopped at a red light. Now, this was a really raggedy car he had. It was the one that antifreeze came out of the passenger side under the
Like-
dash
Oh,
in the
the
car.
gray one? It was
Yeah,
gray?
and you had
No,
to
It was
put
that
your
great
feet up.
citation.
The
You
citation?
literally had to
Yeah.
put your feet up because you had a
citation.
bucket down there. So you were like, oh,
Ci-
here it comes. And so you had it would come out, and then when it's done, you could put your feet back down, straddle the bucket that's underneath the passenger
Yeah.
dash, and then it would smoke. So you would stop it at the red light, and it just starts smoking and smoking and smoke, all this plume of smoke. And you a kid, you like a teenager at this point. You like, and this lady rolled her window down and said, "Sir, your car on fire. It's on fire." And Daddy was like, "No, ma'am, it's not on fire." I was like,
But Dave came up though.
I'm so happy he
Damn.
has a car that don't smoke.
He didn't came
Oh
all
my
the way up.
God.
The antifreeze don't come out
Before
the
he had the
dash.
citation that smoked, he had the brown car that smoked, the
That
one that Donna
smoked
called
too.
the police department. So when he used to come pick me up from choir rehearsal at Zion, I was like, can you please park? Y'all know when you first come in to drive, I said, I ain't had no cell phone. I said, I'll just be standing around the corner and then I would jump in the car and slide all the way down. And I was like, go, go, go. Daddy was like, oh, you better be thankful. You don't have to get a ride, do you? I was like, no. He was like, sit up in the seat. I was like, because I didn't want nobody to know that was us just smoking up the place. Oh man.
What was the
Oh,
was it that brown Caprice that when you started it goes "Ring," and
Yep.
like the birds would fly away, dogs would start barking.
It doesn't matter if you in a dead sleep. It's 6 a.m. You in a dead sleep. You are wide awake after that. I remember him being in my room and it'd be like, "Rat." He did it like 3 or 4 times before it would stop. You like,
Oh my gosh.
Daddy Daddy's
Oh,
crappy
yes.
cars.
Oh my goodness. They were all
Oh my
bad.
God, we had
They were
he
all
had all
bad.
terrible
See, I
cars.
feel like I
But
gotta.
you know what? I can respect that because he made sure mommy was safe. She always got the better car, the new car, and he always drove pieces of junk.
Well,
Thank
even
you,
mommy's
Jesus.
car, that Cutlass they got, the air went out and the windows wouldn't roll down. It'd be in the middle of
Dang.
summertime. You open the door to red light to get some air. Close
Oh,
it back.
Horrible.
do it much better.
I
Thank
learned
you,
to
Lord.
drive on that
Y'all-
car. I
Y'all
learned to
was
drive on
gone.
that
Y'all
car.
was gone by that time.
I learned to
Serves you
drive on that
right.
car. You
Serves
remember
you
when
right.
Dante had that one brown car and like daddy's one of his cars finally died and he didn't have nothing to get to work with. So he was driving your brown car, Dante. Remember that? It was
What's the
some
brown
car he
car look
claimed he
like?
was gonna fix up. And it only had it had like no headlights, but daddy was like, oh well, I'm going in it anyway. And he got, you don't remember that brown car?
I only had one brown car I can remember. It was that
I
old
think
one,
it
and
was
mommy told me to
brown.
get
It was
rid of it
really,
because
really
it didn't have
old.
no seat belts.
Ooh.
She was
See?
like, it ain't got no seat belts. You can't drive that car. I was like, well, it's a 68. It ain't come with seat belts. She said, well, you can't drive that car then. And I was like, oh, I liked that
Man,
car.
car adventures. Everybody had
I
a car
took it out.
adventure.
I took that car out once when I wasn't supposed to. And I was driving around the neighborhood and I didn't have no plates on it. And then it died on me and I couldn't get it start back up. And I was like, oh, you got to start back up. Please, Jesus, start back up so I can get it back at home. And got it back home and drove it back in the driveway and all that. Because I just knew if it had been out there, it'd have been a wrap for me.
We
So,
all
yeah.
had raggedy cars though. That got
Raggedy.
passed
No,
down to me.
I had a pretty good car when I finally got one. Before that, it was the
I had to
bus.
learn from Jocelyn. You got to
And
get
we
the
all
bus
got
face
get a bus
so that
face.
the crazies won't sit next to you.
It looked like this.
The lady, no, I had that my first real job. I got paid $8 an hour, and I hated it. And I told mommy on the first day I was gonna quit. She was like, "You better not quit that job." So I had to get up, go to Nana's house, catch the bus because there was no bus that came down Post Road at that time. So I had to get on the bus, go all the way downtown, transfer just to come back up the street, right over there by where we live. So I was coming home one day from work because I went early. I was coming home one day and I was riding the bus. It was going down 38th Street. And that man got on the bus because remember they closed that hospital. And as a matter of fact, Charter or whatever the hospital is, y'all, we got to go there because they done flipped it. It's like a coffee shop in there. It's an art museum in there. They turned half of it into a mental health museum. Anyways, I just saw it on TikTok the other day. Anyways, they let all the people out, and the people that didn't have no place to go was just wandering the
Ride the
streets.
bus.
So this guy got on the bus. First of all, he put 1 penny in the slot. The bus was jam packed. It was an open seat next to me and an open seat next to this girl, and she had a hooded hair dryer. She said, in the empty seat next to her. So here he comes. He sat down next to me. It was 98 degrees. He had on a woman's raincoat, a woman's wig, goggles, worker gloves, combat boots. He was like, "Can I sit next to you?" I was like, I jumped off the bus down there by the White Castle on 38th Street and walked the rest of the way to Nana's house because he kept bothering me. Then he's the one that got on the bus with us and Nana and sat on that lady's
Yeah,
groceries.
she sat on her groceries. And this poor old lady was like, get up! And she was pulling out her
And
produce from
Nana
under
said,
his
"Did
butt.
you hear what she said? She said, get off her groceries."
And he was like, I mean,
It was crazy.
you got to get
man.
yourself a good bus face. And it looks like, don't you come over here.
Is that the bus?
Don't even make eye contact with me. This seat and me are one.
But Tiffany, do you remember June? They used to work at the church's daycare with us.
Mm-hmm.
She said the same thing. She said, "You know, you got to look crazy." So I had to go catch the bus. I think he was coming home from daycare, working at the daycare. She's like, "Well, I'm gonna go out there and stand with you." She stood in the middle of the street. She messed her hair all up, and she was like, she kept walking back and forth so that when the bus came, anybody who was like on the bus, she's like, "What'd you say?" What you say? She just kept acting crazy until I got on the bus. She said, "That's what you got to do. You got to act crazy."
Nah,
Back.
he be picking up hitchhikers, so
Oh
Oh
no.
no.
Oh God, no! I just listened to a crime podcast yesterday. They got the man out there and then shot him. Don't do that. They chased him around the car, and people saw him running around the car trying to get away from the little hitchhikers, and they still got him. Somebody call the police. Don't do that. You only pick
I
him
guess
up
it
if
depends.
God tells you to, and you need to hear like an audible voice. He need to come down and be like, "Here, come on, don't leave him by the road." Don't hear that? Keep on driving.
Like,
Keep
oh.
on driving.
You can still pray for them.
You hit him with the
I know,
bless him,
bless
Lord.
him, Lord. Bless
Lord,
him,
help
Lord.
him.
That's what you keep on. Bless him, Lord.
Yeah, drive-by oil.
Yeah.
Mm.
Drive by oil.